It's JBG, and I'm hitting you guys with the YouTube video finally. I know a lot of people have been anticipating my YouTube channel. They've been asking me where the podcast at, where the YouTube videos are at, and I'm about to hit you guys with this one. I'm gonna try to make a consistent thing. I'm not promising anything, but I'm gonna try to make it a consistent thing. Today we're gonna be talking about Donda by Kanye West. I know a lot of people have been waiting for my thoughts and they want to see what I have to say. And so I'm just gonna, I have a lot to say about the album, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. Kanye West is a Chicago rapper. I mean, if he deserves no intro. If y'all don't know who Kanye West is, do your Googles. You've been living under a rock. I don't know what you've been doing. But if you don't know who Kanye is, just look him up. Legendary rapper, been in the game for 20 plus years. Rapper, producer, singer, artist, fashion person. I don't know. He does a lot of things. Where to start with this album? I want to start with Kanye West as a person first. Kanye West as a person is very very controversial. Everybody knows that, from the Donald Trump stuff, from the Taylor Swift thing. George Bush doesn't like black people. Slavery was a choice. He's notorious for saying a lot of dumb stuff. And the thing about Kanye, it's almost impossible to talk about his music without talking about the persona. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's kind of hard to use the, well, you should be able to separate the art from the artist. It's really really hard to do that with Kanye because Kanye is so outspoken. He has a lot of things to say. He has a lot of things in his mind, and to be frank with you, I don't necessarily fault him for that. I actually like the fact that Kanye West is an outspoken person. I don't like a lot of the things that he says, nor do I respect some of the views that he has. But I like the fact that he doesn't let anyone manipulate what he has to say, and he just says whatever the hell he feels like it. And to a certain degree, I can respect that. You know what I mean? And with this album, it's interesting because the rollout is probably his most interesting rollout since Life of Pablo. With the whole pump faking thing that happened with Life of Pablo, which I've been talking to a couple of my friends. They didn't exactly like the fact that that was happening, and they're actually sick of it. The fact that he keeps doing that, especially with this new album, and I don't necessarily blame them because I hate the pump faking stuff too. If you're gonna make a date for, oh, the album's gonna release this date, just go ahead and drop it. I understand maybe uh announcing a date and then not wanting to drop it because of certain things or whatever. But then when you're pump faking one, two, three times, that's when starts to get a little tiring as a fan because you're just like, okay, I'm kind of over the hype now. And this was one of the most hyped up albums of the year. It's kind of hard to talk about this album without the outside stuff that goes on with it. Whether that be the baby controversy about him adding the baby and Marilyn Manson, the whole beef with Drake, which I'm probably gonna make a separate video about that, the whole beef with Drake. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, but I'm gonna try to keep it to the music. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to just keep it the music stuff. And where do I like Donda? I enjoyed Donda. The more I listen to it, the more I actually like it. The more I let it sit with me, the more I start to enjoy certain tracks. There are some tracks, there's like two, three, four tracks that I personally would do without, but I don't think that they're terrible songs. I just think it makes the album a little bloated. I'm talking about songs like God Breathe. I don't really think that served any purpose. I'm talking about songs like 24. I didn't really enjoy that song. I'm also talking about songs like Come to Life. I don't know if I necessarily enjoy those songs. Even the part two songs towards the latter end of the album, it just makes the album feel bloated. I don't think they're really necessary. I don't think that they're bad songs by any means, but I don't think they really serve a purpose on the album. I just feel like Kanye wanted to add those tracks because he didn't want to take off the people that he had featured them to begin with. But those verses were actually pretty good. If the song comes up on shuffle on my playlist, I'll keep it on. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that there's a really like a bad song on this album. I don't think that there's like a horrendous song by any chance. I think most of these songs are pretty enjoyable for the most part. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk with there's Jail, the one with Jay-Z. I like Jay-Z's verse. I think it could have been better. I don't think it was an amazing verse. It was a good verse. I think the intro to to that, it has a nice cinematic beat. Feels epic. It feels big. It feels like an you know it feels like it's about to be a masterpiece. And that's where the next song, God Breathe, where I'm just like, the first song was so good, but this second one is just not it. And it made me feel like this could have been left off out the album, and I wouldn't have felt a thing about it. This could have been, God Breathe could have been left out the album. I wouldn't care per se. I wouldn't necessarily care. But then it goes on Off the Grid, and that's to me where the album picks up because it has a nice trap beat. It has Playboy Cardi in it, 5 Year Foreign. Playboy Cardi does his thing. To me, 5 Year Foreign is one of the standouts of this whole album. He had amazing verse. I thought he killed that stuff, that verse. You know what I'm saying? He killed that verse. I like Kanye's performance towards the end. I think overall it was a good track, a very good track. Then there's Hurricane. I love this song. This was 80. This was previously named 80 Degrees. It was supposed to be on the Yandi album that he scrapped. But and I'm actually surprised that this song survived all up until Donda. You know what I mean? But I love the additions to this song. The Weeknd makes this song feel heavenly. I love The Weeknd's voice. I love the way that he sounds on this album. I like Lil Baby's verse. You know, I don't think it was an amazing verse. I thought it was a good verse. You know what I mean? I don't think it was bad. It was a good addition to this album, and I like Kanye's performance on it. You know what I'm saying? The next song, Praise God, another banger. This one has Travis Scott and Baby Keem in it, and I enjoyed the hell out of the song. Now, this is one of the problems that I have with the album. It seems like Kanye doesn't add. I don't know if the beat was all him. I'm pretty sure he had other producers on the beat, but Travis Scott and Baby Keem for the most part dominate the song. And even though I love the song, it's one of my favorites on the album. It doesn't present Kanye in any way, shape, or form. He could have been left off, and I think it still would have been an amazing song. I think that Travis Scott could have done the whole hook that Kanye was doing, and it still would have been an amazing song. And to be honest with you, at some points I couldn't even tell the difference between Kanye and Travis Scott's voice. I could not tell the difference. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But I actually had to go look up on Genius to see when Kanye came in, because to me they kind of sounded the same. I don't know if that's just me, but I enjoyed the hell out of the song. Baby Keem's verse was nice. I think it took a little bit too long for it to build up, but overall it was a good verse. I love the energy he comes in. Jonah, the next song. Now, this is another one of those songs where I personally could have done without. I know my brother says he loves this song, loves Lil Durk, loves Vori, but I personally could have been done without. And the reason why I'm saying that is because of Kanye. I mean, I like Durk's verse, I like the hook, I like Vori's part, but I don't really care for Kanye in this song, and that's kind of the problem. That's what I'm saying, that Kanye doesn't. He only has good to okay verses on this album, and that's kind of the problem I have with it. And I know Kanye focuses more on the aesthetic of the album, and I'm okay with that, you know what I'm saying, because I know he thinks about the production first, and I get all that, but I feel like in other albums he focused on the production and he focused on his rapping. I'm talking about albums like Twisted Fantasy. I'm talking about albums like Life of Pablo. I'm talking about albums like Late Registration, where he was focusing on the production but also focusing on the way he was rapping, his cadences, his flows, his lyrics, his content. He was focusing on everything. It wasn't just one side of the music, or the music. It wasn't one side of the album. It was the whole album. You know what I mean? Like the entire product. And with this album, it just felt like some of these verses were just good verses. They weren't great. They weren't amazing. They weren't top tier. You know what I mean? They were just good verses. You know what I mean? After that is Believe What I Say is a standout to me. Remote Control is a standout to me. Moon is a standout to me. I love the way Kid Cudi sounds. I love the way Don Toliver sounds. Thought they freaking killed that shit. Keep My Spirit Alive is another one of those songs where I'm kind of iffy on it, because I like the song, but I wanted more from Griselda. When I saw that, I heard West Side Gun in the listening part, and then I heard Conway. I was hoping that when the album came out that they would have longer verses, and they just didn't. And then where the hell is Benny in here? Like, why isn't Benny on the song? I have no idea. If you're gonna feature Conway and you're gonna feature West Side Gun, you gotta have to feature Benny. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that Benny's not on here, a little disappointing. I love not Television. I actually did not. I'm gonna go to Television right now. That was a horrible song. I don't know why Kanye put, and it's not because of Pop Smoke. R.I.P. Pop Smoke. Love Pop Smoke. I'm blaming that on Kanye, because it just seems like a recycled song. It was in a previous album of Pop Smoke. What purpose did it serve on this album? I have no idea, but it just did not fit. The beat was not good. I like Pop Smoke's performance, but overall, as a song, I am not going back to that song. I'm just not. Then after Tell the Vision, it's Lord I Need You. I fuck with that song. I like that song. He's talking about him and Kim K's marriage. He's talking about, just him as a person, and being like, yo, like, this is just who I am as a person, you know what I mean? And God got me, God got the children, you ain't got to worry about anything. And, I enjoyed that song because that's an introspective version of Kanye that I actually enjoy, you know what I'm saying? I enjoy Heaven and Hell, and I'm just going through the track list. I'm not going in order because it's just a very long album. I'm just going, the only songs that I didn't like, and I'll mention them right now. God Breathe, I didn't really care for. Jonah, didn't really care for. 24, I thought it was okay, but I didn't really care for it like that. Television could really do without. Come to Life, I could do without that song too. Those are the only tracks where I'm like, these tracks make the album feel bloated. And that's kind of the issue with this album. That is, even though it's a, I don't mind the length of the album, but as long as all of the songs are pure, are good. But the songs that I mentioned, they're just not good enough for, in my opinion, to be on this album and for them to hold up on a track list compared to the other songs. But to me, my favorite song on this album, and I'm going to go straight to it, and anybody that knows me knows what I'm going to say is my favorite song. Because to me, it had the best feature on the whole album. He was the highlight of the album. Let me talk about Kanye first, actually. I'm talking about Jesus Lord. I love the beat to that song. I love the Jesus Lord thing that comes on the hook, and even in the middle of the verses, I thought it sounded amazing. Kanye, this is an amazing Kanye verse. This was an amazing Kanye verse. And when I heard this song in a listening party, I was hoping that we would get more of that in the album. The introspection in this song, the him talking about his mother and the deep depression that he felt, talking about how she was the life of the party, and when she died, that it took the life out the party, or the party out of the life, whatever. However he said it, the way he said it was amazing, regardless. And I like the introspection Kanye shows in this song, because he's not only talking about himself, he's talking about the struggles of the streets. He's talking about, even in the middle of the song, he's talking about how the mother being not his mother, but the mother that he's talking about was how she was addicted to drugs, and that's the only way she can feel any sort of love, even though that's not real love. He's talking about the brother towards the end, where should I send you up to Christ, and then how he says, go ahead, you could send my ass to Christ, because that's the only thing that I haven't seen in my life. You know what I mean? And this whole verse just sounded very, very good. I wish we could have gotten more of that throughout the album, and that's kind of the problem I have, that this is such a high bar song that, like, the other songs just don't meet that bar, in my opinion. But to me, the best best feature on this entire record, Jay Electronica. Jay Electronica had the best verse on this album. The way that he came in saying, in the name of the true and living God, the beneficent, the merciful, thank you for bringing me up the rough side of the mountain. Like, I can't even say that freaking word, bro. I can't say that word. I don't know what that word is. But the way he flowed on that beat, Jay Electronica heard y'all motherfuckers talking shit on a written testimony. He said, all right, y'all talking shit? Let me throw you out this verse real quick. And he spazzed the hell out. This whole verse was amazing. To the monk who visited Rothschild's like Thelonious did Panonica, is Jay Electronica coming through your monitor? Back from the great beyond like the son of man or the son of Donda? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Such an amazing verse. I love it. Honestly, it might be verse of the year for me. But that's just, again, anybody that knows me, anybody that knows me well, knows that I'm one of the biggest Jay Electronica fans. Even though he never officially released Act 2, he still remains to me one of the best MCs to ever touch a mic, to ever, it's just amazing to me. He sounds like a poet whenever he raps. But yeah, to me, this is easily the best song off the album. Jesus Lord has an amazing beat, good ass Kanye verse, and the feature freaking killed it. Jay Electronica killed it. And that's not to say that this album is bad. I enjoyed this album. I thought it was a good, solid album. Where do I rank it in terms of other Kanye records? I have no idea, honestly, but we'll figure that out through time. And but overall, I thought this was an enjoyable record. The more I listen to it, the more I actually enjoy it. I think the turn up songs are good. The slow kind of like melodic songs are good too. There's just the tracks that I mentioned before where I could do without those songs, but that I don't necessarily think that they're bad songs. I just think they make the album feel bloated. I don't think they're bad songs. I want to repeat that. I do not think they're bad songs. I just think they make the album sound bloated. But other than that, is it album of the year? No, it is not album of the year. With all the hype that it had, with all the promotion behind it, with all the talks on Twitter about, oh, Kanye's back, I might just have to say I do not think it's album of the year. And I'll probably release a video on what I think are the best albums of the year. I want to release that towards the end of the year though. But I don't necessarily think it's album of the year. I think there were better albums that came out this year. But that's not to say that this album is not good, because this album was a good album. It was a good album. Was it worth the hype? Whoa. Was it worth the hype? I don't know. I mean, that's up to you. I mean, that's up to you, the listener, to think, was it worth the hype or not. I think it was worth the hype. You know what I'm saying? I think it was an enjoyable album. Yeah, and those are my thoughts. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the album. Let me know in the comment section. And yeah, JBG out.